want to share some short ideas with you that I'm going to call Cooking in the Art Room. In this episode, we're going to talk about hearts and beyond, how to teach children to draw their own shapes, and why you should embrace it. I absolutely love working with this book called My Heart Fills with Happiness by Monique Gray Smith with illustrations by Julie Flett. The last page of the story asks, what fills your heart with happiness? And I just love that question. I love that the question is asking about your heart. It makes it very personal, and it means that the answer should be very personal too. So when working with a group of kindergartners or grade 1 students, I ask them that question, what fills your heart with happiness? And I get them to draw their own heart. Now, some students might seem like they lack a little confidence in this, but like so many things that our children learn, that requires a certain volume of practice, and it requires authentic practice. They really have to try things independently to get better at it. And they will draw a heart that will be developmentally appropriate to them. And that is just fine. When I'm showing them how to draw something like a heart, I'll often tell them to think of things that are familiar to them. So for example, the top of the heart is like a giant letter M. And the bottom of a heart is like a giant V. Put them together, and you have a heart. Just like you wouldn't expect a student to write a perfect sentence, particularly when they're beginning writers, we don't expect them to draw perfect shapes. But the learning is important. The trying, the owning their mark, the self-expression, those are all the things that we want them to get from this experience. I love that all the children at this table have a heart, and each heart is different. Some of them are wide, some of them are flat on the bottom, some of them are almost oval shapes, but in their hearts, they are all hearts. And inside the heart is just as special as outside, with something that is very personal to them. When I worked with a group of kindergarten students, we did, as an aside, draw our pictures inside the hearts using oil pastels, and then we used spray bottles filled with diluted food coloring and sprayed the background, which is super fun because it gives us really wonderful textured background that the kids really love doing. And I loved when we did this, that all of the interiors of the hearts were so different, the things that filled their hearts with happiness, and the heart shapes were also different. Some of them were tall and thin, some of them looked vaguely like a baseball mitt, but they were all hearts. And we celebrated all the hearts and all the differences in them. So what's important in this? It's not perfection. Absolutely not. It's about learning. It's about self-expression. It's about students owning the marks that they make. We can certainly help them. We can encourage them. We can celebrate what they do, but we have to let them draw. And when they do, they're going to absolutely warm your heart by creating things like this, or like this. A boy and his dog, that fills my heart with happiness. Actually, what fills my heart with happiness is the fact that all those hearts were so different. And if your students draw something and you think that doesn't really look much like a heart, not to worry, because an actual human heart looks like this. And that's it for Cooking in the Art Room. Happy drawing, everyone.